From the Northway Bank Online Newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie. This local and regional news update is brought to you by Northway Bank. Want a Northway Bank teller to keep in your pocket? There's an app for that, now available for iPhone and Android. Download yours today. Northway Bank with 17 locations throughout New Hampshire. The people you know, the bank you trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. An official with the White Mountain National Forest urges visitors to plan ahead and properly prepare for emergencies if they plan on visiting the forest this summer. Deputy Forest Superintendent D. Hines says an injury, wrong turn, or severe weather could become life-threatening, even if you're just headed out for an hour's hike. Hines urges visitors to check the latest weather forecast, bring warm clothing and rain gear, be prepared for winter-like conditions, including very cold water in rivers, streams, and ponds, and to expect the worst while enjoying the best.
We expect a lot of visitors this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. That's the traditional kickoff day for summer. In the White Mountains, you always have to be prepared for changing weather conditions. It's just very important that people come prepared. Code of responsibilities that you should always be ready to take action on. For example, you shouldn't be afraid to turn back if conditions change. You should always make sure somebody's aware of what your plans are, and it's really best if you not go out alone.
Hines recommends everyone check the preparation tips offered online at hikesafe.com. He cautions some trails and roads are still not passable after damage caused by Tropical Storm Irene, and he recommends checking the White Mountain National Forest website for the latest trail conditions and other important information. One more thing, he says, to bring insect repellent. He says black fly season can last into the middle of next month, depending on the weather. Guests at New Hampshire's most visited museum, the one at the top of New England's tallest peak, operated by North Conway's nonprofit Mount Washington Observatory, will soon get to enjoy new, improved, and more realistic exhibits. Observatory Executive Director Scott Henley unveiled plans yesterday for a complete redesign and renovation of Mount Washington's Summit Museum called Extreme Mount Washington. They will be in place next spring to accommodate the more than 100,000 people who visit the museum every year.
That has grown over the years thanks to a partnership we enjoy with the Cog Railway and the Mount Washington Auto Road. We offer patrons of the Cog and the Auto Road free admission to our museum. In forming that relationship with the attractions, all of a sudden our visitation quadrupled. So it elevated the importance of making sure that museum is a gem and a showpiece for the observatory and for Mount Washington. It made it far more important than anything else we were working on and got us going on doing this complete rebirth and redesign.
The nearly 3,000 square foot museum will be stripped to the studs and new interactive sensory exhibits will be installed. Henley says will impress visitors with the awe and wonder of the mountain's winter season.
Kids and adults can sit in the cockpit and actually pilot our snowcat up the mountain. In the new Extreme Mount Washington experience, there'll be an interactive panoramic display that visitors can choose between views of different seasons and points of interest. It just takes it to the next level.
Henley says just more than $100,000 for the project needs to be raised to reach the goal of $825,000. For more information about the project, see the website at extreme.mountwashington.org. In Maine news, despite the threat of a certain veto, the Maine Senate has given final approval to a bill to pay off a $484 million debt to Maine hospitals and expand Medicaid. The Senate passed the bill by a vote of 20 to 15 yesterday, and Senator Governor Paul LePage, who threatened to veto it. After the Senate vote, Democratic leaders urged Mainers to contact their legislators and ask them to override LePage's veto of the bill, which is expected to come up Tuesday. LePage and the Republicans strongly object to the part of the bill that expands Medicaid, saying it wasn't analyzed sufficiently and should be considered separately. Democrats call paying the hospitals and expanding Medicaid to about 70,000 Mainers a win-win for the state. In sports, the Portland Sea Dogs beat the New Hampshire Fisher Cats 8-4 yesterday in Portland. Cleveland beat the Red Sox 12-3 last night in Fenway. And the Rangers are staying alive in the Stanley Cup playoffs with a 4-3 win over the Boston Bruins last night. In the weather today, rain, highs of the lower 60s with light winds. Rain and patchy fog tonight, cooler with lows in the upper 40s. Northeast winds around 10. And showers on Saturday, highs in the lower 50s. From the Northway Bank Online Newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie.